There's a saying that the brain is hardwired for fear, and this couldn't be more true. In fact, researchers pegged fear as the brain's oldest survival mechanism. It's an instinct that kicks in whenever it perceives a threat, whether real or imagined. But while a healthy dose of fear can be a good thing, like when it keeps us safe from a speeding car or an angry dog, too much of it can be crippling. That's why it's important to learn how to manage our brain's default response to danger. So here are some ways to master your brain's oldest survival mechanism. No. Understand the fight-flight-freeze response. When you perceive a threat, your sympathetic nervous system activates what's known as the fight-flight-freeze response. This is a survival mechanism that's been hardwired into our brains since the beginning of time. It's designed to help us run from danger or freeze and hope we don't get noticed. But this response isn't always helpful. Sometimes it can be triggered by everyday stressors like public speaking or meeting new people. And in those cases, it can lead to a lot of unnecessary anxiety. That's why it's important to understand how this response works. When you feel threatened, your body goes into overdrive. Your heart rate and blood pressure go up, your breathing becomes more rapid, and your muscles tense up. This is all in preparation for fight or flight. But if you can recognize these symptoms early on, you can start to calm down and take control of the situation. Number 2, don't try to fight your fear. One common but misguided strategy for dealing with fear is to try and fight it head-on. For example, if you're afraid of heights, you might try to convince yourself that you're not scared. Or if you're nervous about a presentation at work, you might try to push those thoughts out of your head. But this approach can actually do more harm than good. When you try to fight your fear, you're essentially telling your brain that it's a threat to be avoided. This can make the fear worse and make it more likely to stick around. Instead, it's better to acknowledge your fear and accept it rather than trying to push it away. 3. Practice relaxation techniques. One of the best ways to manage your fear response is to practice relaxation techniques, such as deep breathing, meditation, or yoga. These practices help you to calm down and focus on the present moment rather than worrying about the future or what could go wrong. By learning how to relax your body and quiet your mind, you'll be able to better manage your fear response when it kicks in. Number 4, gradually expose yourself to the things you fear. If you want to overcome a specific phobia, the best thing to do is gradually expose yourself to the things you fear. This doesn't mean jumping into the deep end right away. Start small and work your way up. For example, if you're afraid of dogs, start by looking at pictures of dogs. Then move on to videos. Then try interacting with a dog from a safe distance. Slowly but surely, you'll become less afraid and more comfortable around dogs. Number 5, seek professional help if needed. If you're struggling to manage your fear on your own, don't hesitate to seek professional help. A therapist can teach you how to identify and challenge your negative thoughts and help. You develop healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with fear and anxiety. It's important to remember that everyone experiences fear, and it's a normal and necessary part of life. But when fear starts to control you, it's time to take action. By understanding your fear response and practicing the tips above, you can learn to calm down and take back control. And if you need additional support, don't hesitate to reach out to a mental health professional.